In this video, I'm going to be discussing elapsed time with a story problem. If you watched my previous video, it was just two different times that we were finding the difference of. And right now, I'm going to actually use a story problem and show you how to find elapsed time. And then for the challenge question, we're going to use a conversion table. Okay, so quickly, let's review what elapsed time means. Elapsed time is the amount of time that passes between one time and another. You can use a T-chart, which looks like this. And you'd have the times right here. And over here, you would have hours and minutes. Okay. Or you can use a number line, which would look like this, and you would jump your times. So for example, if you watched the last video, we had 8:30 and we were trying to get to 9:45. And so we added an hour and 10 minutes and 5 minutes because that gave us 9:30, 9:40, and 9:45. Or if you're going to use a number line, you would start at 8:30 and you would jump 1 hour and get to 9:30. We jumped 10 minutes for 9:40, and then we jumped 5 minutes for. Okay, so those are two strategies that I've talked about so far. But now we're going to use either strategy and we're going to solve elapsed time within a story problem. So here's our problem. The Starbucks in Bonnie Lake opens at 8:45 a.m. and closes at 4:05 p.m. on Sundays. How much time do customers have to come in and order a drink every day? Now I am going to use both strategies here. We'll start with the number line. Okay. And we'll start with 8:45 is when we're starting. And they're saying it closes at 4:05. So we need to jump our number line here to get to 4:05, okay? I'm actually going to make this even longer for us just in case we need it. Okay? All right. So whenever you're doing jumps on the number line like this, really try and jump with numbers that you find really friendly and easy to work with, because you really could use any numbers you want. So you might as well use numbers that feel easy to you. Like for me, my mind initially goes to that I want to take this 8:45 and I want to get to 9 o'clock. Because then when I add anything after that, it's going to be really easy because you're going to just be adding an hour. So I'm going to ask myself, what do I need to add to 8:45 to get to 9 o'clock? Well, a lot of you know, to get from 8:45 to 9 o'clock, you're going to add 15 minutes. So I'm going to write 15 minutes here. Okay, and that's going to get me down to 9 o'clock. All right, then I still need to get from 9 o'clock to 4:05. So I'm going to say, okay, well, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to count how many hours it is to get me close to 4 o'clock. Well, I know 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. Okay, but if you're not there yet where you can look at 9 o'clock and think to yourself, oh, it's 7 hours from 4 o'clock, you could just add 2 hours and 2 hours. So you'd go like this. You'd just do 2 hours and you'd get 9, 10, 11, and so on and so forth. But in an effort to save time, and for those of you who don't need to go that slow, I am going to just jump ahead 7 hours, okay? do a big jump. That's a big time that I'm passing by. I'm moving ahead 7 hours on my number line here, and that's going to give me 4 o'clock. Now I'm almost at 4:05. All I have to do now is add a little bit of something else to get from 4 o'clock to 4:05. And I'm going to add a little jump of 5 minutes. And that's going to give me 4:05. Okay, so now my answer here is this 15 minutes plus this 5 minutes plus this 7 hours. Do you see how I was really clear on what my units were? It's not 15 hours plus 7 hours plus 5 hours. I would start by adding the minutes first, since you only have one unit that's hours. So 15 minutes plus 5 minutes is going to give me 20 minutes. So this one plus this one is going to give me 20 minutes. And then I just have my 7 hours. I have 7 hours and 20 minutes. Okay, that's my answer here. And that's my answer here using a number line. I'll highlight it because you should always highlight your answer. Okay, so in relation to the story problem, this means that on Sundays, Starbucks is open from 8:45 to 4:05 on Sundays. That means that customers have 7 hours and 20 minutes every Sunday to come in and get their coffee. Okay? All right, so now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it with a T-chart. Okay? And as I showed you on my last video, if you guys watched that one as well, a T-chart is basically just a number line flipped sideways. See? I'm going to put my time will go on this side, and my hours and minutes will go on this side. So we are starting again, just like over here at 8:45. Okay, and I want to get to 4:05. So when I do a T-chart, I like to just put that number, just kind of skip down really far and put that number way down here. Just let myself know, okay, that's what I'm trying to get to here. Okay, so just like before, I'm going to be adding something to this side to get me to the 4:05. So I'm going to do, just like I did over here, I'm going to add 15 minutes to get myself a friendly number. And you see how I'm always specifying my units here? It's 15 minutes, okay? That's going to get me to 9 o'clock. Then I'm going to add 7 hours like I did before, and that's going to get me to 4 o'clock. And then I'm going to add 5 minutes, and that will get me to 4:05. All right? And then just like before, my answer is going to be these added together. So we have 15 minutes, 7 hours, and 5 minutes. So add your minutes first. So 15 plus 5 is 20 minutes. And then the 7, you don't have to do anything to 7. So your answer here is 7 hours and 20 minutes. Okay? All right. So Now our fast finisher, which if you're new to my channel and you're not one of my students, but you're somebody else watching this, basically your fast finisher is like your bonus question or your challenge question, okay? All right, so taking the amount of time that Starbucks is open on Sundays, which we just found using 2 different strategies, which that is 7 hours and 20 minutes. I'm actually going to write that right here, open on Sundays, 7 hours and 20 minutes. Please create a conversion table. Some of my students this morning were like, what? A conversion table? What's a conversion table? So if you felt that way, just stay tuned below to help you determine how many minutes Starbucks is open for on Sundays. Now, the reason that they're asking this is because the majority of the time we have listed as in hours, right? 7 hours are in 20 minutes. So only 20 minutes of our total time here is in minutes. The other chunk of the time here is an hour. So they want to know how many minutes Starbucks is open for on Sundays, okay? So to create a conversion table for this, what I'm going to do, it's actually going to look very similar to our Tchart that we made in this one right here with our time and our hours. It's going to be very similar to that. Okay. So basically, I want to know how many minutes are in 7 hours, right? I already have the 20 in minutes, but I want to know how many minutes is here. So I'm going to put hours, minutes. So first thing to do when you're doing these conversion charts is start small. For example, if I have 1 hour, how many minutes are in 1 hour? Almost every one of you should be able to tell me that. 1 hour is 60 minutes, right? Okay. So that means 2 hours would be what? I'm going to give you guys a second here in case you want to follow along with me. Hopefully, you guys all got 120. Now, really, all I'm really doing here between these two numbers is I am adding 60, or you could think about it as 2 times 60, okay? So 2 hours is 120 minutes, and so 3 hours would be 180, and you would just keep doing that, right? So you could do 3 times 60. You could think about it as 1. Think about it as 1 times 60, or you could think about it as take this number and add 60 each time. So you could think about it as 2 times 60, and really you could think about it as 2 times 6, which is 12, and then you have an extra quantity there, right? 3 times 60, and all the way down, okay? And so you're going to keep doing that for, so 4 times 60 would be 240, or you could think about it as 120 or 180, excuse me. Think about it as 180 plus 60 would give us 240. Okay. We'll extend this down. Five hours. So 5 times 60 would be 300. Or you could say 240 plus 60 would be 300. Or you could think about it as 5 times 60, or even 5 times 6, which is 30, right? Okay. So we're almost there, right? Because we want to get to 7 hours. So 6 and 7, and then we're done. So you could think about it as 6 times 60, or 6 times 6, which is 36, right? So 360. And then finally, we have 7 And actually, I'm going to change this color for you guys, just for anybody who that's helpful for. I know for me, it's helpful when I have all my colors right. So I have 360. And the last one here, you could think about it as 360 plus 60, which would give us 420. Or you could think about it as 7 times 60. 7 times 6 would be 42. So 7 times 60 would be 420. So that what this means is this right here, this 420, means there's 420 minutes in 7 hours. Because remember, we have minutes and hours. So there are 420 minutes in 7 hours. And if our total amount of time was 7 hours and 20 minutes, we could really just cross this off and change that to 420 minutes and 20 minutes. And then we just need to add them together, 420 plus 20. Because now we have minutes for both, right? And that would just be 440 minutes. So that means that the Starbucks is open for 7 hours and 20 minutes every Sunday, or you could think about it as 4,000 or 440 minutes. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Leave me comments down below if you want to see anything else. And if you're one of my students, just reach out and let me know, and I will connect with you. Thank you. Bye, guys.